Everybody talks about short attention span. Everything's short, little 2-minute, 3-minute TikTok bursts and all that sort of thing. To me, that is the greatest argument for cinema.
You did not use generative AI in this movie. Well, is this the same James Cameron that brought us Terminator in the 80s?
But I mean, you have people who are making small films with generative AI with no actors. It's like, okay, that's a bad idea. I would tell any young director right now.
여러분 안녕하세요. 신하영입니다. 진짜 대가들의 지식을 전하는 지식인 초대석. 저는 지금 터미네이터, 타이타닉 그리고 아바타 시리즈로 전 세계 영화사를 다시 쓴 거장 제임스 카메론 감독님을 만나러 미국 LA에 와 있습니다. 사실 이름만으로 별다른 수식어가 필요 없는 분이죠. 제임스 카메론 감독님을 만나러 함께 가보실까요?
My name is Ayang Shin, and this is for Knowledge Inside. Mr. Cameron, it is such an honor to be speaking with you. So before we begin, do you mind saying a quick hello to our Korean viewers, especially to those who are eager to see your new film, Fire and Ash?
Here's what I would say to our Avatar fans in Korea. First of all, thank you very much for making Avatar 2 such a big hit there. And now Fire and Ash is coming your way in a few weeks, and I hope you enjoy it.
We are ready to dream with our eyes wide open, an expression that I borrowed from you.
It will do that. It will do that. It's like a dream state. Absolutely.
And it's such a wonderful way of expressing the whole experience because the visual effects really draws you into Pandora immediately.
Yeah. So you saw it, yesterday? Or
Yes, yes, I did. So, I mean, I'm just curious, could you please tell us about the technology that made this sort of visceral storytelling possible that you only dreamt about?
Everybody asks me about the technology, but I think what they're saying is, okay, how are you doing this thing that we don't understand, right? How are you making these people that feel so real, but clearly can't be real because their eyes are too big and they have tails and ears and all that sort of thing? And the answer is really, it starts with a little technology I like to call acting. Right? Because what's the point of being able to translate these performances into these Na'vi characters if the performances aren't great, right? So it's about performance capture. That's the technology that we use. And performance capture is a way of getting everything out of the way and just working with the actors. So it's actually not very technological in a way. It is and it isn't. So from the actor's perspective, they forget the technology's even there. Right? Now, we had to create all that stuff so they could do that. But when I'm working with them, I'm not thinking about all that stuff. In fact, in my mind, it's the purest creative work that I get to do because it's just me and the actors and the pages, the script and their characters. Now, later, I have to go through all these other steps to bring that world to life, which I also enjoy.
Could you maybe tell us a little bit more about that process then?
About performance capture?
I mean like creating a world.
Well, you start with design, right? So colors and form, texture, all of those things. I have great designers. We start with culture, indigenous culture, and then we don't want to overly appropriate from any one indigenous culture, so we take it all, we sort of put it in a blender, and then we create motifs for our individual cultures. So the wind traders, they have very different wardrobe and hairstyles and their technology, which is all woven, that allows them to essentially fly around the world in these caravans. Then we have the Ash people. Their look is completely different. Their aesthetic is very different. And then that's layered on top of the cultures that we've seen already, like the Metkaina, the Reef people, which is again a woven technology. All of their buildings are essentially woven and curved structures. So we spent a lot of time on this with the designers. And the designers will do artwork and then we'll make computer models so that we can move around and see it and make changes and so on. And then the same thing with the wardrobe, right? So we actually create everything. Even though it's CG, we create all the costumes so that people can wear them and we can see how they move and how they have weight and so on, how they interact with the hairstyles. We have to bring it all to life. And so that's just lots and lots of artists.
So that's kind of like a culmination of this league of artists.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned specifically about acting, which was interesting because you said multiple times that you did not use generative AI in this movie.
Correct.
And I found a really interesting comment that said, oh, is this the same James Cameron that brought us Terminator in the 80s? And I found it interesting because there was this genuine sense of bewilderment. So please tell us about that decision to not use AI.
So AI comes in many flavors. So artificial superintelligence is, I think, a serious danger, and it's being aggressively sought after and developed. So I think that is something that's a completely separate conversation. And that's what relates to the Terminator. So the Terminator was about an artificial superintelligence, Skynet, in the future. That's a separate conversation. Now, generative AI, which can take the place of writing, can take the place of art and painting, can take the place even of actors, which we've seen recently. But I mean, you have people who are making small films with generative AI with no actors. I was like, okay, that's a bad idea. But that's a bad idea that's in the industry that I know. And I think that there is a role for generative AI at some point in terms of creating tools that for example, I could use in my workflow. But it's still going to start with actors. It's still going to start with my writing or the writing of the screenwriters that I work with. It's still going to start with the actor's work, because to me, that's just the right way to do it. What I'm worried about is you're going to have young filmmakers that can get their hands on these tools and they can make films cheaply, and they don't need to go out and raise millions of dollars. They can make a film and there's no actors involved, all right? And I think you skip a step that's absolutely critical in the development of a filmmaker, of a director. I would consider that to be, horrifying, a really bad path for us. So I hope that clarifies. So we're talking about two different kinds of AI, and then within generative AI, it's not simple. It's not all bad and it's not all good. But I do think it's important for people to remember that we don't use it on the Avatar films.
What would you say to the young directors that are thinking of using generative AI, just by telling them what you think will remain in the creative process uniquely and undeniably human?
Acting.
Acting.
I would tell any young director right now, study acting as a pathway to being a good director. You can be a director. You can be an imaginative filmmaker if you're entirely visual. And if you're entirely visual, you will leave the audience cold. They will not care. And in a highly competitive marketplace, the audience better care about your film, or that'll be the only film you ever make.
Right. The story of how we receive narrative, how we interact with content as audience has changed a lot with,
and it's changing right now as we speak, right?
It's exactly. So nowadays we're so inundated with so many content, with 15-second short form videos dominating practically our daily media intake. So against that backdrop, why was it important for you to make a movie of this scale and of this length? And what can the audience get from watching a 197-minute movie in the theaters that they simply cannot get from watching short-form videos?
187 minutes of story.
187
but
minutes
who's
of
counting?
story.
But anyway, it's interesting. Everybody talks about short attention span, right? We're scrolling, everything's short, little 2-minute, 3-minute TikTok bursts and all that sort of thing. Guess what? I grew up with that. It's called advertising. The 30-second commercial and the 15-second commercial is not a new idea. That's been around for what? My lifetime, right? So I think people do take in media in smaller chunks now, and they have more selective control over how they watch things for the first time because of streaming. And they can flip, they can jump between programming, they can pause it, they can stop. To me, that is the greatest argument for cinema, because you make a choice. You are in control of how you consume your media, and you make a choice to take all the clutter out of the way and have a fully engaged experience for 2 hours or 2.5 hours or 3 hours. And that's why people still go to the movies, because everything else is not as deeply satisfying. It's immediate. You can get it quickly. You can be conversant. You can talk to other people about it, but you're not feeling as deep a reaction as when you take everything away, you submit complete control, your field of vision is filled, you have beautiful sound, and you go on that journey, and you lose track of time, and you forget where you are. And you step out of yourself and you're transported into another world, into other people's problems, which, by the way, are just as bad as your problems, if not worse, right?
Right.
So I think that's why cinema will always have power, but we are definitely seeing a diminishment, right? So I just want to make sure that people still have something to go and see that's worthy of that choice. So I give them a feast. The Avatar films are a feast for the eyes, for the senses, for the spirit, and for the heart.
I watched the new movie last night, and I personally felt like there wasn't enough time because I fell in love with all the characters. I mean, I've been in love with the characters, but the new developments are so fascinating. Like Jake in Way of Water, he became a father and he had to make all these difficult decisions to protect his family. Yeah. And you refer to the cast and crew members as family on set. So what are some of the difficult directorial or executive decisions that you had to make?
It's always hard to take out a scene that you love where the actors did a great job. You know, it's just difficult because it'll never be seen or it'll only be seen in some obscure niche form, you know, some extended edition on Blu-ray or something like that. That's hard to do, but you have to serve the greater purpose. And the greater purpose is to have an orchestrated experience. And sometimes things just, the question has been already asked and answered, or it's repetitious, or it's a kind of a side alley. You know, I had to take about a half an hour out of this film. And it's all good work. It's all the equivalent caliber to what remained, and you saw what remained, right? So that's difficult. But it's also important to explore, and I like to explore with the actors, and I like to explore character with them. And so we always capture more than we need, and then we have to edit it and edit it down, you know. But it's like fine-tuning maybe a sculpture, you know. You have to take away to get the final sculpture. But other than that, no real regrets. I think, you know, I'm just very proud of the actors' work. I'm very proud of all the artists' work, the designers and the VFX artists and so on. I think it just all came together in this one. I don't know. What did you feel? Did you find it emotional?
Oh, we cried at the end of the movie.
Good.
I could talk for hours about the movie and about your work, but we are running out of time. So we actually prepared a little gift for you. So can we give the gift?
Yeah, let's go. You can hand it off and then we need to keep going.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. That's very kind. Very sweet of you.
Yes, I wrote a card and it's a dragon. It's
How do you say dragon?
This is funny. I'm so glad you asked because in Korean it's 용 and in ancient Korean it's mir.
Oh.
Mir.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
Wow, that's interesting. So it's long now?
It's 용, but people understand it if you say mir.
Oh,
so
mir.
This is actually a wine stopper.
Cool. All right, great.
Okay. The
cool.
dragon design.
That's a beautiful gift. Thank you.
Thank you for making the time for us.
Wait a minute. This is a dragon?
Yes, this is the same dragon.
I like dragons. So.
We know you would.
I know, right? Okay. All right. Well, I hope everybody gets lots of good dragon time. We don't call them dragons. We call them ikran.
We know.
And toruk.
Toruk.
And then there's the new one that Varong rides.
Right.
And her name is Ashley.
No. Is she like related to Bob in any way?
No, we just thought Ashley was very funny, so we called her Ashley. Mm-hmm. But the real name is the Night Wraith. Night Wraith. So
right.
anyway,
so thank you so much. This is actually.
네, 방금 제임스 캐메론 감독님과의 인터뷰 보고 오셨습니다. 계속 저도 곱씹고 있는데 시간이 너무 부족했어요. 그럼에도 불구하고 그 짧은 시간 동안 이분이 왜 이 세계 영화사를 바꿀 정도로 영향력이 있는지 조금은 그래도 엿볼 수 있는 시간이 아니었나 싶습니다. 제가 진짜 인상적이었던 거는 사실 제임스 캐메론 감독님이 뭐 각본도 쓰시고 감독도 하시고 편집 뭐 여러 가지 일을 하시지만 결국에는 사람에 대해서 이야기를 하는 걸 보고 저는 느끼는 점이 많았던 것 같아요. 그러니까 우리가 거장이라고 생각하면은 좀 큰 아이디어들이 있을 것 같은데 결국 중심에는 사람이 있구나. 주변 사람들에 대한 애정 그리고 그 주변 사람들을 약간 책임지려는 마음 그런 게 가장 크게 자리 잡고 있는 게 저는 개인적으로 인상적이었습니다. 그리고 저희가 준비한 선물을 저희가 예상했던 것보다 더 좋아해 주셔서 한국어로 용이 뭐냐고 물어봐 주신 거가 저는 너무 뿌듯했어요. 왜냐면은 순 우리말로 용이 미르잖아요. 근데 미르가 감독님이 타이타닉 영화를 만들면서 리서치를 할 때 그 미르라는 잠수함을 타고 타이타닉 탐험을 다녀오셨거든요. 그래서 그 의미로 사실 저희가 진짜 고심해가지고 용 모양의 선물들을 준비를 했는데 굉장히 뿌듯했어요, 저희는. 그리고 사실 인터뷰에다 담지 못한 부분들도 있습니다. 저희가 어제 아바타 관련 전시도 보고 영화도 미리 볼 수 있는 좀 행운을 누렸었거든요. 스포일러를 드리지는 못하지만 정말 큰 스케일로 돌아왔다. 같다. 그리고 2편에서 조금 더 듣고 싶다 하는 부분들이 3에서 채워집니다. 그리고 영상미가 저는 꼭 3D로 보시기를 추천드립니다. 정말 그게 그 시간 동안 단 한순간도 다른 생각이 안 날 정도로 여러분 3D로 보시면은 정말 그 몰입감 있게 그 세계로 빠져들으실 수 있을 것 같아요. 오늘 저한테는 굉장히 오래오래 특별한 하루로 기억될 것 같습니다. 자, 지금까지 진짜 지식을 만나는 지식인 초대석 미국 LA에서 전해드렸습니다. 다음 시간에 또 만나요.